Hi, my name is Allison Devers. I'm the owner of The Second Shelf. We are a rare and antiquarian bookstore focused on the idea that books by women need to be collected and cherished. And we like to encourage people to balance their bookshelves and put more books by women on them. And we have every price range. We have special books in all areas and subjects. And we love what we do, and we love to make recommendations, and I'm here with Emily Hutchinson, who is a bookseller who particularly loves sci-fi and fantasy, and we are going to chat a little bit about some of our favorite books by women who write in those categories.
So this is Always Coming Home by Ursula Le Guin. One of the only books we have left by her in stock because she's so popular, especially over Christmas. She's been super popular. People love to gift her. This book in particular is really interesting because it came with this cassette tape.
And she worked with a composer.
To compose music for the book is about a community that lives in this valley, but it's partly the story of the protagonists in the present moment in that community, and it's partly folklore, sort of anthropological details, like their customs and then music. So it has the cassette tape to go along with the music.
One of our other favorite writers in the shop that we sell a lot of and love to recommend is Octavia Butler. Throughout her lifetime, I think she fought very hard to get the proper acknowledgement of the science fiction and fantasy community. She's African American, and women have always struggled to get their work taken seriously in the science fiction community, let alone a woman of color. What do you like about her work?
She's just very thoughtful. I feel like it was her maybe that talked about how men writing science fiction, it's often our world but on an alien planet, whereas she was very interested in fiction that reimagined what the world could be, and which is I think why she's so powerful and why people still love her so much, because she's still super relevant. In fact, one of her novels features an America which has a president whose slogan is "Make America Great Again." So still very relevant. A lot of her books, when they were published, they really whitewashed the covers.
Meaning they wouldn't put people of color on them.
Yeah.
I mean, she always struggled to find her audience, and I think that she combated all sorts of things in her work, including trying to get people of color on her covers. Yeah. And that's part of what everyone loves about her now, is that she kind of never gave up. She would write these amazing aphorisms to herself about what her plans were in her life, and all of her notebooks are in an archive, and they're very her diaries are amazing, and they're online, and you can flip through them. And I know a lot of people print up her own aphorisms for themselves as writers. She's really very inspiring.
Yeah. She was queen of manifesting what she wanted through writing.
Yes. Yeah. That's a really good way of putting it. And she also was a feminist. This book here has this amazing cover. It's called Mind of My Mind. And the premise of the book is that a daughter fights her immortal father for control of the world. So the forces of the patriarchy versus, versus women. Yeah. We have a lot of different kinds of her books. This is called a proof, which is a pre-publication book that would come out right as all of those last minute things were being worked out about it. And sometimes it tells you how many were printed of the first edition, so you have a sense of the history of the book and how small or large how much sort of energy the publisher was putting behind it. Yeah. It has the date on it. So there are important parts of book history that give a lot of details if you're interested in collecting books. Yeah, and we have a lot more. We actually have a whole shelf of vintage sci-fi and fantasy magazines. They look like this. This is one with Octavia Butler's Bloodchild in it. And we've highlighted the ones that have contributors by women. So not only can you find Ursula Le Guin and Octavia Butler, but we have so many women writers who are less well known, who did incredible work. And oftentimes their names weren't even on the cover. There would be some starring man and his name on the cover. And the first magazine that Ursula Le Guin's very famous Earthsea story was in, her name was not on the cover. And we sold that earlier this year to an Ursula Le Guin collector. So yeah, there's a lot for everybody here. And we're always getting new stock in. We're about to restock, so we'll have a lot more of these writers and sci-fi and fantasy writers.